My client broke down in tears. Her life was almost over. And she didn't even have to say in words how she was feeling when she was asked questions during her pretrial testimony. You want to learn why? Come join me as I share with you this remarkable information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. This was a woman who was ultimately diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. She was dying before our eyes. She brought a lawsuit against the hospital and the clinic that treated her for failing to timely diagnose her lung cancer. It was our claim that if the doctors had recognized these warning signs and symptoms earlier, then she would only have been in stage 1 and her treatment and her prognosis would have been so much different and she would have no problem with her life expectancy. Instead, because of the delay, this woman was literally dying in front of our eyes. She was on an oxygen mask at her question and answer session during her pretrial testimony. She needed a walker to walk. There was evidence that all of the cancer has spread throughout her entire body, into her lungs, into her kidney, and to other parts of her body. And clearly she was weak. She was using pain patches because she was in excruciating pain. And now when the defense attorneys had an opportunity to ask her questions about her pain, about the suffering she endures each and every day, about her disabilities and the injuries and things she can no longer do, she turned to them and she didn't even have to say a word. She said, "Look at me. Look at me. Don't you see what I'm going through?" And now the defense attorneys immediately realized, before they even began to question her, what her condition was like. And they knew that if my client was ever to make it into a trial down the road, that the jury would have tremendous sympathy for the problems that she was having now. And unfortunately, my client never made it past her deposition and to trial. She died shortly afterwards. But what was remarkable was the fact that these attorneys, these defense attorneys who were representing the doctors and the hospitals in this particular case, they could sense exactly what her pain was. They knew what her disabilities were, and she didn't have to say a single word about what she could or couldn't do. It was that evident. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you because there are some instances, for example, like in this failure to diagnose cancer case, where the patient is literally dying before us. And now the defense attorneys have an opportunity to question my client, that no words are truly needed. And even though the defense attorneys are trying to obtain information to lock in the injured victim into their testimony as pre-trial sworn testimony, it was clearly evident that they didn't need to go into detail, even though they tried, that all of those words were meaningless. Why? Because they could see in their own eyes exactly what her problems were and what her disabilities were. So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you to give you an insight and an understanding into one particular case that I handled involving a failure to diagnose lung cancer, where it was so obvious that the defense attorneys knew immediately, without even having to ask, what her problems were and what her life expectancy was. You know, I realize you're watching this because you probably have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter happened here in New York and you do have legal questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, this is something I do every single day and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.